Hi guys, DRUID here saying new video, and this video will be a pre-bis video for druids, feral druids, and I will be talking about PvE, but mostly about PvP because I feel like druid is way more fun in PvP. But we have BWL coming out, and BWL is obviously going to be a very big thing. It makes it possible to get other pieces of loot. It makes possible to have some upgrades here and there. But the truth is that at phase 3 you will get also rank 13 gear, which is going to be something you kind of have to grind. It's not going to be a very big video, but I'm going to give you an idea on what items you should SR if you're going to raid in MC and BWL and on XCR obviously. If possible, you are going to grind rank, so you could also get rank 13 gear, which is going to be very good in multiple facets of the game. Now, I have the max PvP rank at 11, and I'm going to put it at 14, so you see the difference between the pieces that you can have in BWL and the ranking gear. So we have the headpiece, which in PvE you will have the wolf head. That's always going to be the one that you're going to wear. But like a PvP, you're not going to wear this. It's a lot of it doesn't have stamina, it doesn't have intellect, it doesn't have strength, it doesn't have agility. The shapeshifting is cool, but you do lose a lot of stats. But in PvE, this is going to be the one thing you're going to wear a whole long time. So yeah, it is what it is. But in PvP, I would say, or other pieces of content, so for example, if you're doing dungeons or if you're raiding, in general, you have some good pieces of loot. Now, you don't really have any pieces of loot in raids from Blackwing Lair that is going to be superior to what you can actually have in dungeons, because there is simply no leather pieces dropping out of BWL that is going to give you the stats that you want. So you will always have to go for the Mask of the Forgiven, or in PvP, I like to have my rank 10 gear because it gives me all stats gear, and like I said, all stats gear is like the best gear that you can have as a feral, but also as multiple specs that you could be playing. Like for example, if you're playing like Heart of the Wild, or if you're playing Moonglow, whatever, those are like good pieces of loot because it has stamina, it has intellect, it has also strength if you are going to go bear form, for example. It increases the damage and healing done as well. It's not fantastic, but you also get the movement speed, which is very critical if you want to kite very efficiently. But a few good like pieces that you could get outside of the Mask of the Forgiven or the rank 10 gear is Eye of Rent, for example, because it has 13 strength, which strength is better than just like raw AP, especially as Deep Feral. You could also go for like pieces like, for example, Shadowcraft Cap, and you could also go for Ghost Shroud. But I prefer the rank 10 gear, like by a mile. And I still wear it right now. Neck-wise, you really want to have an Onyxia Tooth pendant. I know some people prefer to go Prestus Talisman Conivry, and yes, it has more AP because it is 30 AP that you get, plus also the crit, a crit and a half, because it's 20 agility for one crit. You would have a like 1.5 crit extra plus 1% hit, which is going to be very good. But I really like the stamina. I like the fire resistance, especially in BWL, and in PvP it is also a very good like neck because it has stamina. You have 12 agility, 1% crit, which is equal to the 30 agility pretty much. You have 12 AP out of that whenever you're going to go cat form. Is it like the best, like AP wise? No, but in general, I'm going to say that AP is not the one simple thing that is going to make your DPS skyrocket. That's not going to happen. It doesn't scale that well with your like cat form damage. So I prefer the crit because the more crits you have, the more combo points you have. The more combo points you have, the more like combo spendage you can do. Like for example, rip in PvP or your ferocious bites. Those are like very important. Especially ferocious bite. Whenever you can actually do a 5 combo point ferocious bite with a crit, that often is going to do a lot of damage versus like casters, for example. You also have like a Darkmoon Fair neck that you can get and like pushes with the tickets if you're like grinding that. I personally, I don't know if I'm going to do that. It's not that great. I guess for PvP, it might be good. It is like 19 plus 20, 39 AP plus 10 stamina. It is the better piece out of those two if you're looking for like raw AP, but you don't have a hit. And I think hits is such a difficult stat to get as a feral druid because you don't really have a lot of like availability through ranking gear or through your TSS, like for example a rogue has. Because they get like hits for free basically on a lot of pieces, while we have to go through like the off pieces or get like silly loot that is still like available in UBRS, for example. So I'm going to put this on. The shoulders, like damage wise, DPS wise, they are not really bad. I know like some people are saying that it's not great, and yes, I understand. But like 12 strength is equal to 24 AP plus the 6 agility, which is 30 AP. You have the 12 stamina, you have 12 intellect. In PvP, I think that's like the best shoulders you can have, even superior to the Torch Dragonhide shoulder pads. A lot of people are saying that this like is Feral Druid gear, and that's cool, but it's mostly for tanking, I would say, for the armor that you would get. But even then, I think the ranked 10 gear is superior to that. So you see that BWL really has not really a lot of great pieces of loot for Feral Druids at all. But the BiS is still going to be True Strike Shoulders to get that hit that is very hard to get. Truthfully, if you want to get that, just get that. Personally, like I said in PvP, I just stick with rank 10, and obviously with like the rank 13 open, I'm going to change the gear for you guys, like I'm going to show you. But like in BWL, still nothing that you can get that is simply interesting to get, so it's a no-go. Chest wise, you have finally a upgrade if you're like thinking about purely I would say PvE. Malfurion's best bulwark is very good for tanking. Like it's actually best for tanking, and you get like 80 raw strength out of that. Plus, like the again, it's 80 if you're thinking about like times two. But if you are like Heart of the Wild or Deep Feral, it's 20% increase actually as well. So you have literally a big amount of crit that you get, IP you get from just simply getting strength. Like for example, Cadaver's armor is cool, but it doesn't scale as well because you don't have as many AP possibilities with strength, for example. And the same for agility. This lacks the crit though. This has a crit and has a bit like a lot less strength, a lot less agility, and a lot less stamina. It depends. I think if you are going to SR an item, I think this is a good SR because you don't really have a lot of like SRs that you can have, so which is a soft res in BWL that is going to be meaningful. I think this one is the most meaningful item you could get from BWL right now, outside of the trinkets and the rings. So I would go for that. Why not? I'm going to put it on just for sport. But in general, I think you're going to have a lot more choices with the ranking gear as well. Do not take the Grizzled Pelt. I think it's not that good from the Druid class quest that is going to be available. But like, I would say the top three, those three. Obviously, with ranking gear, it might change. Risk Loss of Stability, it's an item that I already have. I think it's a very fantastic item. Obviously, if you can actually get Exalted in Warsong Gulch, I think Force Stalker's braces are very, very legit. It has 22 like AP from strength, and then 19 agility. It's a bit less, but obviously you do also get the crit out of that. So yeah, I think it's like kind of equal. You don't need to go for that. Obviously, if you can get Exalted, why not? You can then test those two pieces. I think the issue is you do like the agility. That is sometimes lacking. But like getting 24 strength, which is like a lot of AP. Like it's 48 AP without the scaling of Heart of the Wild, without Kings. It is actually like a lot of AP that you could not get on different other pieces of loot. It's only bracers actually as well. So if you like the hit, obviously you have Black Mist Arm Guards. That's the issue. Like again, you have to sacrifice a lot of the good loot to get maybe the hit that you desperately need. Unfortunately, there's no weapon skill to save you out of those hit ranges. In PvP, I play with the Unstoppable Force, but there is like now a big equivalent to it, like I would say even better, which is the Draconic Maul. I think that is also a very good SR, especially if you're thinking about PvP. 2% crit is welcome because it's the same as the Unstoppable Force, but you get more strength and a bit more stamina. Is it like the only item that you can get from BDBL? No, because you all have Herald of the Woe, Herald of Woe, which is without crit, so you will not have any crit on it. You have 20 intellect, 17 spirit, 22 stamina, 31 strength. That's actually a very good Heart of the Ward weapon, especially with the intellect that you get. The spirit, it's okay, but the stamina of it and the strength is quite good. It will again depend if you really want the crit or not. Personally, I think Draconic Maul is fun to use, and it's like again 2% crit. It's an upgrade from the Unstoppable Force, not the biggest upgrade, but it is an upgrade nonetheless. But you should for sure maybe get your hands on a Herald of War pretty easily, because nobody is going to SR it most likely. Maybe a Paladin, but why would they do that with ranking gear available? I would say the combination of Devil Sword, gauntlets, and leggings is still going to be very strong, for the simple reason that you miss the hit. If you're doing PvE, you're going to most likely just like wear that till like you have enough hits. That's the only issue you can see with that. Yeah, I think it's very hard. It's very hard to justify like every single time to have to go Devil Sword or Gauntlets. But the issue is the 2% hit that you get is too important, so you just stick with it pretty much. Waist wise, you have a bit of choice since BGBL is out. You have Taught Dragonhide belt. Again, it's pure AP. It's no strength. It doesn't scale well. That's the issue. Like Kings doesn't do anything to like raw AP. If you have strength, if you have 30 strength, it's actually better than just 60 attack power, because you have the Heart of the Wall, you have obviously the Kings, all those two things, all those things together, especially if you're Alliance, is just not great. I personally think it's a bit overrated, and it's again an item that you don't really need to SR and will most likely just go into your hands, because nobody's going to want it. Even a rogue, I don't seem to find any reasons why they would go for that. Even a warrior, like there is no reason to get that as well. A hunter as well. So I think this is like pretty much a feral druid gear that is unfortunately a pure AP item without crit. I, for example, value Stormpike's leather girdle by a lot more, because it has the agility, which is a half a crit. You have maybe less AP, that's true. It's like 32 AP pretty much in total. But yeah, I would say it's whatever you take, why not? Molten Belt is also quite good. You can make it now, phase 3. I don't know if it was available at phase 1. I think it's phase 3 that is available. It has no strength, so yeah, it's a pure crit item pretty much, with a bit of AP from the agility. But I think if you're looking for a pure like output item that you could get, is maybe Cloud Runner's Girdle. But again, the EPs are a bit different, like a bit like false, right? Because it's 79, but it's like 14 strength, which is obviously 28 strength, and then you have 50 agility, which is obviously less than the AP from Taught Dragonhide belt. So I would say that if you can get the Dragonhide belt, why not? But you don't really have an all stats belt that you could get for without like losing significant stats. So I would say get that. Why not a molten belt? Why not go for still the Cloud Runner's Girdle? I personally still use the Stormpike leather girdle, but once BGBL is out, I will test and get to have like the most epics possible on my gear, because I'm tired of watching like blues. But anyways, that's a good like belt that you could get. So why not? I didn't talk about cloak, but the one cloak that you should go for definitely is either the Cloak of Draconic Might. You could still go for the Cloak of Shrouded Mists. But there is also one cloak that is also quite interesting, which is Cloak of Fire. Personally, I like the Cloak of Draconic Might because it has, okay, not a lot of stamina, but like for DPS throughput, it is 16 strength, plus like, it's 32 AP pretty much, plus 16 agility, which is then 48 AP. But you also have Kings, which is going to help you to get even more agility, so it's going to be 10% of 16, so it's going to be around 18 AP agility, and then you have also 20% of strength increase because of like the Heart of the Wild, plus a 10% from Kings. You're all going to overshoot the AP that you could get from Cloak of Pharma. The one thing that is good with Cloak of Pharma is that it is having 12 stamina, so why not? But I would say if you can have a good like cloak from MC, you could go for the Cloak of the Shrouded Mists, which is going to give you 1% crit. It's going to be a very good tanking cloak. But I still use the Black Veil Cape because it gives me a lot of AP that is actually very I really enjoy to have that as well. But that's pretty much it. I think cloak-wise, you have some choices between the Cloak of Draconic Might and Cloak of Firemaw. But I do prefer Cloak of Draconic Might for pure DPS throughput. So I'm going to get that. You have boots. Obviously, you have also your legs. You could maybe get some legs here and there. There is one piece that you could get that is very interesting for the DPS portion of your class, and it is, for example, the Sentinel Lizard's Hide pants is very good for the strength that you can get. And you also have the Sentinel's Leather pants, which is a pure agility, stamina plus crit. You pretty much get like 2.5 crit out of this pants. And you have a bit of AP, but you do like the intellect. I do like to have a bit of intellect from my pants. So if you can actually get Warsong Gulch rep grinded, just go for this. Why not? It could be very, very good. But obviously, I would say that still, if you need the hit, if you're doing PvE, Devil Sword is like a lock-in pretty much. You really need the hit from that. Maybe if you can get hits elsewhere, get the Playground leggings, so you get the hit from that, plus the 30 agility. Why not? But that's like preference, I think. It is legitimately, the hit is too good to pass up, pretty much. That's the issue with Feral Druids. Then you have boots, and boots, it's going to be the most fought item in raids, and like everyone is going to SR it. Boots of the Shadow Flame is very good. It has AP, which is not ideal. You prefer strength, but obviously you have 2% hit, and that is going to help you with a lot of your problems. And you should probably go all in on that item at start, because it does drop often. It's not that rare, and everyone is going to go for DFT. Everyone is going to go for the ring. Everyone is going to go for the other pieces. For weapons, for example, if you're a warrior, I think this is like a safe way to get hit. Without like sacrificing too much. The rank 10 gear is okay AP wise, but it's not going to be like fantastic compared to the Shadow Flame boots that you could get. Boots of the Shadow Flame that you could get from Nefarian. So I would go for the boots of the Shadow Flame. Ring wise, obviously, if you can get your hands at a Band of Akuria, you should go for Bands of Akuria. Why do I have those two? Because I currently have those two. But if you can actually go for Bands of Akuria, you should definitely go for that because it gives you 2% hit. And hit is very precious as a Feral Druid because it's very hard to get. Now, Dark Band is good, but obviously if you at one point don't need the hit, or at one point you could actually afford to go for more AP, Quick Strike Ring is actually very good. Like very, very good, because it gives you strength, which is again a 2.2 modifier as a Feral Druid. You have attack power, you have crit, you have the stamina. It's very, very strong. But if you do need a hit, then you will have to turn your eyes into Master's Dragon Slayer's Ring, which is also 40 stamina, 48 AP, and improves your chance to hit by 1%, which is a straight upgrade, a bit, like not big, but it's still an upgrade from Donhuru's Band. But you will lose the crit. And if you want to have like a pure throughput ring, which is, in my opinion, maybe PvP, Circle of Applied Force, 22 agility, which is 22 stamina, excuse me, 22 AP. You have 24 strength from 12 strength, which is 20% increase, plus 10% in kings. You get like around, I would say 25 AP, 26 AP, depending on your buffs, whatever. You get a lot of AP from just one item. Now, is it something you really want to? I don't know. Personally, if I have to like SR an item in MC, it would be quick strike ring if I have already Band of Vacuria. Else, I would still stay on Band of Vacuria if you're doing MC. And the same, Don Julio's Band, you should try to replace it to Master's Dragon Slayer ring. Why not? But it's not like something that is going to be a prio. The prio that you should go for is Band of Vacuria and MC, and still run MC till you have it. And then if you want to have slight upgrades of Don Julio's Band because you're tired of watching that, why not Master's Dragon's Ring? And if you have enough hit, why not Quick Strike Ring, for example? Your trinkets, it's very simple. There is one big trinket you really want, and that's really also for tanking, but also for cat form. Drake Fang Talisman. Like 2% hit is enormous. Will help you with a lot of the issues that you could get, like doing like PvE, but also PvP. I think personally, Hoj is a bit overestimated as a cat form feral druid. I do believe that it's better as a bear form. I still need to get it. I'm quite unlucky with like getting the drop. But I will be solo farming very soon, so it's going to be very easy to do once I have that. It will be like a straight upgrade, but obviously DFT, very hard item to get. If you can get it, why not? But again, you will have to have a big loot console that loves you, or have a SR raid where like people are going to overlook DFT because everyone's going to go for it, and maybe you can win it. Rune of Metamorphosis is cool. It's a bit niche, but it's good for like power shifting. You can use it, and it's going to help you for that fight. It's not like something that is impressive either because it's 20 seconds. It has a long CD. You will lose AP or hit or like the Hoj from your items, so you have to see if it's worth it or not. But I do like it, so why not? It's going to be easy to get because if you're like the only druid, you're going to automatically get it. So that is something that you should not SR for. Even if you're like having 3 druids in your raid, nobody's going to SR it, and most likely it's going to go to you at one point, right? Then you have like still like some tanking gear for tanking things that you could get from MC. Why not Essence of the Pure Flame? And that's it. That's pretty much what I would talk about, like the trinket wise. Your idol, I don't think this is in the game yet. It might be, but I haven't seen it yet, so it is what it is. Now, with that being said, we're going to talk about the ranking gear now. So I imagine you're going to be rank 14 or rank 13. I'm going to put 14 because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it in rank 14. Now we're going to talk about the specific pieces you could get rank 14. So we have the legs, which is, like I said, if you could have the hit somewhere else, this is the best legs in a game currently for Feral Druid. Once ranking is up, you just need to have 1 extra rank, and this is going to be perfect for PvP. It's going to be perfect for PvE as well if you get the hits elsewhere. This is a big DPS increase. It has the 1% crit, so realistically Devil's Sword is not going to be an issue anymore. You have 48 AP from your strength, which is again 20% increase as well because you have your feral, like Heart of the Wild Feral Druid talent. You have 18 agility, which is basically 1 crit. You have 18 AP as well from the agility, and with a King's buff, you get 20 agility out of those 18, so it's again a crit pretty much. You have 18 stamina, you have loads of armor, you have 15 intellect, which is perfect for shape-shifting, using your spells, playing Heart of the Wild spec, for example. But you lose the kind of hybrid form where you could actually do like Moonfires, Insect Swarm, and have some modifiers to it. It's not that big anyways, but you also get 1% crit. It's a fantastic item. I am looking forward to get that the first week of ranking. I'm going to get that. I'm very happy about that. The boots, you have a very legit contender with Marshall's Dragon's Heart boots. For some reason, they put like magic damage on it, while the other pieces don't really have that. It is what it is, but it's like DPS wise, I would say AP wise, this is superior to the Shadow Flame. Now, obviously, 2% hit is such a big deal that you most likely are going to wear this in PvE. But in PvP, well, if you really want to have the 3 set, and the 3 set is going to be again the same as the 4 set you would have in the rank 10 gear, but this is like really big. So you would essentially the first week get already 2 big pieces out of just ranking. So the 3rd of April, you will be able to rank, and you will be able to rank up. And 1 week after, you get like literally 2 big pieces of loot. But what about the hands? The hands is actually not that bad as well. I would say like DPS wise again, because again, it depends on your hit. But DPS wise, this is also one of the best items in the game for you, because it has 20 strength, which again you have to count Heart of the Wild buff, which is 20% increase. So you would get 4 strength increase out of that, plus also Kings, which is going to increase again by 2 strength increase. So it's going to be 26, maybe even more, because you have like cumulative percentage. It's going to give you literally 50 AP rounded up. 50 AP plus the 19 agility, which is basically 1 crit, and 19 AP. So you would have around 70 AP out of just 1 hands. That is going to give you 1 crit as well. Stamina, you will have like slightly increase your stealth detection as well for PvP, and you'll have a bit of like magical spells effects going to be increased by 12. You also get accessibility of the 3 set. So basically the first week, rank 12, rank 12, rank 12, you'll get the 3 set, and also you will have the increase of strength that you would get from your hands, and it's going to be very, 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 very strong compared to the Devil's Source. Now, again, if you need a hit, it's going to be likely that you're going to go back to the Devil's Source until you have the hit, but this is really awesome. Like if I'm going to cat form, I have 2k AP. If I have like just full wall buffs, except rend, and I have Kings and Might and True Shot Aura. I have Battle Shout, and I have obviously my own buff with cat form with Heart of the Wild. 2k AP is really big. Like really big, and that's without like potions, like consumables. It's purely wall buffs, your raid buffs, and obviously you as a Heart of the Wild spec or Deep Feral spec cat form. So there is that. What about the rank 14 gear? It's not good. You should not go for that. The rank 14 weapon, excuse me. It's literally less crit. It is more strength, but it's like less than Draconic Maul, and you have more stamina, which is maybe something you want to go for. So maybe to survive the damage, why not? But I would personally not go for the Grand Marshal's Battle Hammer. Maybe you could go for the staff, like that is not like about AP, but more like about the intellect. Why not? I don't know. I think it really depends on how you see and how you want to play the game. Okay. Bracers, like I said, nothing changes. If you talk about chest is also very big. So I said like you could SR the Malfurion's Blessed Bulwark, but realistically, if you could get rank 13, which you should kind of go for if you're a druid, you get 25 strength, 19 stamina, you get agility, which is basically a half a crit with 14 agility, like even more than half a crit, and you have King's buff, so it will be most likely very close to a crit. You get also 1% crit out of that gear as well, and you have intellect as well for being able to shapeshift. This is, in my opinion, one of the best chests in the game for a druid. I think the rank 13 gear is like a real thing that you should go for if you're a druid. If you're like a feral druid, there's no reason to not go for it. I think you are losing a lot of potential if you're not going for rank 13. I know it's a grind, but it's worth it, and you keep it till the end of the game pretty much. And really, really strong. Shoulders wise, it is It's a bit better than what you have with rank 10 gear, obviously, but it's not like something you kind of have to go for, right? So like I said, the shoulders are like always going to be true strike shoulders, especially if you want the the hit. But in PvP, it's okay. You want to have that because you have the intellect, you have the stamina, you have strength and agility. It kind of takes every single thing that you want, so you will go for that. But obviously, there is also the AB ones. Now I can't show you here. Maybe if I go for the phase 4, it will show me the possibility to get it, I think. The AB one is also going to be open. Normally the rep grind is also going to be open. I don't know. It should be. If it's not, it kind of sucks. But if you're looking for like a good piece of loot out of AB, you could go for the Highlanders leather shoulders. Why not? But yeah, I mean yeah, most likely not going to be it, because you still need to grind the rep, which is going to be also a very hard thing to do. Neck wise, nothing changes, still Onyxia. And then ranked, like the last piece of loot, which is also my fan favorite piece of loot of rank 13 gear, which is the Field Marshal's Dragonhide helmet. Gives you 1% crit, gives you another percent crit out of the agility, which is going to scale with kings as well. You have 19 stamina, which is big as well. You have 20 strength, which again 20% of Heart of the Wild, which is going to be 24 strength. Then you have your king's buff. It gives you an immense amount of AP just through one item, and you get 1% crit. In PvP, you'll be wearing it. In PvE, you're still going to have the wolf head. The wolf head is going to be the one thing you really need to play around, because it gives you potential damage that is not going to be happening if you don't have that. So basically, you have to take this. But I would say going for the 6-piece is not that bad in PvP. There is no real other contender in phase 3. So you really want to go rank 13. You really want to go for that gear. And you see, finally you get everything purple from epics. Now obviously, you really need Band of Akuria. You probably really need DFT if you want to have 6% hit. But in PvE, you kind of need to have, I think, 8% hit, or was it 9% hit? I don't remember. You need a lot of hit. So you will most likely going to swap to True Strike Shoulders, which you would then get the 8% hit if you have DFT. If you don't have DFT, again, you could always have like maybe a sacrifice with the Black Mist Arms Guard, which is going to give you 1% hit as well. Then you have 9%, and you could like maybe drop the DFT because you don't have it. You have then 7%, and then you will have to be crafty to find that like remaining 1 or 2% hit from your gear. So that's pretty much it. Again, you should really play around rank 13. I think rank 13 is too good to pass up, so you should play around that. So that is my video about Deep Feral. You could also say like PvP Feral pretty much. If you are looking forward to also a video about Balance Druid, I can make it as well. I can also make a Resto Druid like BiS planner as well. I will be making a Feral Druid guide in PvP and also in PvE. That will happen. I just need time to do so, and I'll try to get gameplay to also show you instead of just talking through it. We'll have to see. That's my plans. For Warriors as well, I already made the gear planner for Fury Warrior. I might do it for PvP as well. Why not? I think PvP is quite simple. Just go for rank 14 gear. And also just in general, maybe a guide about like raiding in BDBL. Why not? I could also make a guide about Shadow Priest, but again, I don't really play too much Priest these days because I am committed to my Druid, committed to my Warrior. I want to level a 4th character, so I don't know if I have time to actually play Priest. But I like my Priest, but I just think I need to prioritize a few characters a bit more than the Priest itself. So again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.